Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Insight. I am John Gray, and this is the program we do where we bring you information that you need to know. And we give you insight on that information that affects our city and our county. And today, I'm glad to have Alan Burnett with me, and he is with Recovery Court. And right now we have Bobby Carter, Judge Bobby Carter, with us. And what we're going to talk about today is about suicide.
Yep.
And Alan, it's your show.
Well, thank you for having us to talk about a very traumatic topic here, but it's something that's been escalating quite frequently here in our communities. I had a good friend, actually his cousin, reached out to me because we just had not an overdose, we just had a suicide last week. A cousin of mine, and this is the second cousin of mine that's had a suicidal death within 2 months.
Wow.
And not only that, we're having a whole lot of overdose deaths as well. And
sometimes it's hard to discern what is an accidental overdose, especially with the proliferation of fentanyl now and a lot of drug products that are hitting the illicit market here in our county. So it's hard to tell if I would say most of these deaths are accidental overdoses. I mean, there are obviously the situation that we're talking about here was a planned suicide, and that goes hand in hand with drug addiction. People they feel like they've hit a blind alley and there's no way out. That's just an unfortunate. That's one of the bad collateral consequences of the drug epidemic that's hit the United States, and our county is not immune.
Yeah. And Steve, so he had asked me if I could put together something where we can start raising awareness and get a word out and try to orchestrate something to where we can start making more of a difference. We've been working at this for years, and so I reached out to my guy right here, Judge Bobby Carter, as well as the district attorney. He had to cut out on us. Also have our grief counselor, a pastor, Lee Brandon, overdose prevention specialist,
right.
Dustin Ritchie, and Steve Berry.
Okay.
All should be here shortly.
Okay, so Bobby, how much of this stuff do you see come up in front of you? A lot of it. A lot of. I mean, I guess you have to say drug use.
Yep. It's a regular, recurring. If you're in this community, if you're in this recovery community, you kind of get inured to it. But it's several deaths a year, at least every 2 months, I'd say. I mean, it's one of those things where you get. So I had to speak at this fentanyl overdose prevention banquet a few months ago, and you don't think about it because you'll read an obituary or you'll find out about something, and then you kind of block that off in your memory, and then it'll go along a month or two later. Hear about it again, you'll hear about another one. But then when you get to thinking about it in the aggregate, and this is what I want to make clear to the audience. So I went to speak at this
that gala?
Yeah, fentanyl gala, and I had a set speech. I was going to talk about our reconstituted drug court, the typical speech that I give. And I walked in, and what they had done is they had assembled a list, and they had photographs of all of the fentanyl overdoses in our county in what the last 2 years was it?
I'm not sure about the time span, but it was like our county as well as other individuals who's lost their lives. Yes.
And it was stunning. I mean, it had a big effect on me. I walked in. It was in the convention center over in Manchester. So I'm in a big cavernous auditorium, and I walk in, and these pictures would have covered an interstate billboard, and it needs to. That billboard needs to go up somewhere around.
Right.
It's going.
I mean, it stunned me. So when you think about it in pieces, that's one thing. But when you see it in the aggregate like that, I mean, there were 50 to 75.
Oh man, it was a lot.
Okay.
Pictures on there.
Yes.
I mean, it was. I mean, I rewrote everything I was going to say. That I said, I basically told everybody there. I said, this speaks for itself.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
This billboard. This should be a billboard. This speaks for itself.
Now, I might not know exactly what types of cases come before you as a judge, but
Felony drug cases, drug trafficking cases.
okay, so what is the percent of drug cases that does come before you?
Oh,
Of all the cases you do,
let me think about that.
would it be 50%?
It'd be approaching 40%.
40%.
Maybe between 40 and 50.
40% of your time
A lot of the
On the
felonies.
bench.
Yeah.
in Coffee County is dealing with drug use.
I think that would be a fair assessment, and I think if you ask the other judges in my jurisdiction, they'd give you the same answer.
I would probably go a little further than that on the outside looking in. The reason why is because someone may come before him that and their charge may be something that's not a drug offense.
Yeah.
But those individuals may be participating in substance use.
Yeah.
Like shoplifting
Yes.
to support your habit.
Yeah, I understand.
There are a lot of what we call drug adjacent or drug motivated offenses.
Right.
And they may not appear. It may not look like a drug offense
On paper.
on paper, but
I'm
once you get,
I'm staying in that car to sell to get me some more drugs.
once you get into it, or I had a case many years ago where somebody was cleaning houses. They were cleaning houses, all right. They were cleaning out a lot of medicine cabinets,
Right.
cleaning out a lot of jewelry boxes, and what it was, they had a habit they couldn't break,
Right,
and they
right.
were a good person.
Do anything for
Good
it.
person just got addicted, opiate addiction.
Do anything for it.
And luckily that ended up, there was a happy ending on that. But for every happy ending, there's 4 or 5 that aren't.
And so the program that you're running right now,
Recovery court.
Recovery Court, just recently has revamped in Coffee County, right?
Yes.
We've been underway about a year.
Because I know about a year ago
Yep.
there was nothing what you're trying to do now didn't exist.
It did exist, but here in this county, it hadn't, or it wasn't at that particular
Right.
time.
There'd
at
been
that
an
time.
interruption.
It had before.
Yeah.
Yeah, there'd been an interruption in
Right,
services we
right.
provide to people. And we did. We had to start from the ground floor up.
Yes.
And so here we are.
Here we are trying to make a
Right
difference
right here.
and a way out for individuals who are struggling with substance use, instead of incarcerating them for a long period of time or without getting support and help and treatment and learning more about themselves, helping them to uncover some things that they've been dealing with for a long time, been more or less imprisoning themselves,
Sure.
helping them to get those things out. And one thing that I talk about a lot is, we have full-grown adults who still have a child that's locked up inside of them. So we as a recovery court, we're trying to help free that child up. And we feel like if we can free that child up, then they're going to start making better decisions. So they're going to start being a better influence on their own children as well as the children in our community.
Right.
And our county's not paying $140 a day to keep them housed.
Yeah.
We've got them holding down jobs, passing drug tests, going to AA meetings, going to counseling meetings, going to suicide prevention meetings, going to psychiatric meetings if they need that, which they usually do. Somebody that's been in long-term drug addiction probably has psychiatric issues. So the theory is to kind of divert them. If you can break that cycle of addiction, you divert them into being a productive citizen. Then that in that long run, that's going to be a lot more productive for our county. That's a lot more productive use of resources than putting somebody in jail, letting them sit in there, learn how to be better drug dealers, and then they let them out.
Yeah, sure.
and then they
Learn
get
how
in
to be a
trouble
better
again.
criminal.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
So, well,
I conducted a probation violation hearing on somebody this afternoon, and they had let's see, in the last 3 years they had failed 10 drug tests, and they had 7 probation violation warrants filed against them. Of course, they had to go to jail for every one of them. Then they got out and they went right back to it. Well, we're going to break that cycle on this.
There you go. There you go. And I know you have somewhere you have to be.
I've got, as a matter of fact, opiate abatement committee meeting at our county commission. Yes.
Okay.
And that's so the pharmaceutical industry, obviously in the last few years, has had to pony up, and our state has been the beneficiary of several $1 million in opiate money grants. As part of the settlement, the settlement with pharmaceutical industries in the United States government and all the states that joined in on those lawsuits. So this money kind of comes in waves, and this is a steering committee that are made up of citizens of our county, and we direct what enterprise is the best use of that money.
Right. Okay.
So that's where I'm headed.
So from the bench to here,
to the
out
county
the door
commission,
to try to continue to do good deeds in our county.
Well, a lot of it's paying it back.
Yes.
And don't we all need to do that?
I heard this at an AA meeting 20 years ago, 15 years ago. People gain self-esteem by doing esteemable acts, and that's about it.
There you go.
That's
there
good.
you go. It's not the races you won, but the good deeds done that get you across.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
Bobby Carter, thank you for being with us.
Glad to be here. Thank you.
What we'll do right now is we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll rotate the next one in.
Very good. Thank you.
K&S Awards has helped Tullahoma adult and youth athletes celebrate sports for 45 years by supplying the area's largest selection of trophies and plaques, plus corporate awards engraved in glass, plastic, and crystal. K&S stocks gift items and figurines for almost every sport. K&S also does jewelry engraving, sandblasting, wood engraving, like Grandma's favorite recipe on a cutting board. They custom make badges, desk and nameplate signs, panel and photo frame tags, rubber signature and self-inking staffs, bronze signs, yard signs, and banners. Now offering custom framing as well. When you take that trophy-winning picture, 30 years of framing experience makes K&S your one-stop celebration shop for all your keepsake needs. Stop by and see Alan and Jenny Rogers at KS Awards, 510 Country Club Drive in Tullahoma, or call 931-455-7359. Welcome to the Grand Lux Inn, Tullahoma's finest boutique hotel where history, comfort, and southern hospitality come together. Family owned and operated, we take pride in offering more than just a place to stay. Whether you're planning a weekend escape, a staycation, close to home, or just need a peaceful retreat, the Grand Lux Inn is your perfect getaway. Looking for a space to host your next business meeting? Our elegant and quiet setting provides an ideal atmosphere to connect, collaborate, and get things done, all with the personal touch of a locally owned business. Whether you're here for relaxation, business, or a special event, the Grand Lux Inn is ready to welcome you. Call us today at 931-461-9995 or visit the website to learn more. The Grand Lux, Tullahoma's finest boutique hotel.
For over 40 years, family-owned Stroop's Accurate Refrigeration is the name you can trust for residential and commercial HVAC installation, maintenance, and repair. As we transition to our next generation of leadership, the Stroop team is committed to providing your indoor comfort needs. We at Stroop's emphasize excellence in everything we do with certified technicians, 24/7 emergency service, and free estimates. Stroop's Accurate Refrigeration, your #1 hometown HVAC company.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Insight, the show that brings you information that you just really need to know. And today we're talking about suicide and suicide prevention And I have right here Alan Burnett.
Burnett. Yes.
There's so many Barnetts around here. It's hard not to say Barnett.
No, it's
Alan Burnett, and
With the
he's with Recovery Court.
Yes.
And I know this guy right here, but I'm gonna let you introduce him.
This is Mr. Steve Berry, Mr. Thomas Davis.
That's right. And
Yes.
so, tell us about how these two guys right here are involved and what's going on.
Well, I mean, I've known these guys for a long time. I've seen what they've done over the years with their own little nonprofit, Focus and Follow Through, and how impactful it's been with them, just reaching out to the youth, and making sure that they're able to go to the next level. That's always amazed me in representation of a dear friend of theirs, a cousin of mine who's lost his life probably back, I believe it was back during the 90s.
Yes, sir. 95.
Yes, and we're having these overdose deaths just rampantly. It seems like every week, every month, there's somebody that's passing away, whether it's overdose or whether it's suicide. And Steve reached out to me last week, and he said, "Man, we got to do more in what we're doing." He said, "Can you navigate something, put something together where we can have a safe place to talk about it and start raising more awareness about it?" So that's where we're at right now, today.
Steve, what's your input? What's your take on this whole deal? Bobby Carter just said before he walked out that at 50% of the cases that he hears on the bench as a county judge are drug related.
And that's sad. That's sad. Mr. Gray, they say in this community that, they say there's not a drug problem.
That don't sell. That don't sell. That's why you don't hear it. That don't sell.
Shit does not sell.
Mr. Bigger department store to move
Right.
his chain here.
Right. There is a problem. There's a problem. Even at the level that I'm at, I work for the school system now.
Sure.
I don't know if you knew that or not. I work for the school system. And just the things that I hear and I see with the kids, my heart, I have a newfound respect for teachers because of the stuff that we hear and that we see. And we have more youth now dealing with depression and anxiety than I've ever seen in my life. And on this last young man, and actually family member, of my wife's, it was just like Alan said, I reached out to him. I'm like, man, I'm tired of just us talking about it. It's time for somebody to do something to bring awareness to what is going on in this community. I got out of school in 1986. Back then, you didn't hear of stuff like this happening. You never heard of anybody committing suicide or drug overdose even back then.
No.
And it's way too rare now. It's like it's a common thing to happen
We've had 2 family members, in the past 2 months?
in the past 2 months.
And the thing about it is with these kids now, they when we bullied, and you probably I look back on my life as an athlete.
Mm-hmm.
You play sports?
Yes, sir, I did. Proudly, I did at this town.
I'm messing.
If we were bullying somebody, we might have popped them on the butt with a towel.
Mm-hmm. Not
These
now.
kids go on the internet and attack each other
Yes.
in a way that it spreads through the whole community.
Yes,
Whether
yes.
it's the truth or not makes no difference.
You're right.
And once that's there,
You can't take it away. It's out there.
we live in a society right now where you are guilty until proven innocent.
Right.
Instead of you are innocent instead of proven guilty.
You're right, Mr. Gray.
And
Absolutely.
particularly these young girls, a lot of these young girls, they don't know how to handle this.
Mm-hmm.
And their mamas and daddies, they look to the school teachers as, here, you raise them.
Well, it's not
But
even-
don't send them home upset.
We
I'll sue you.
We had a young lady that died by suicide, I believe 2 months ago, right around 2 months ago, over
Right.
in Franklin County.
It's something that's got to be dealt
It
with.
is. It is. It's sad. And you said mamas and daddies. No, most of the time now it's grandmother, aunt,
Yes,
and
yeah.
uncle that's raising mom and daddy's kids, because mom and daddy in jail on drugs, you know what I'm saying, or in rehab somewhere. So that's like,
You know,
it's tough.
I haven't done this recently, but a hero of mine, Coach Tony Dungy, wrote a book called Uncommon. And I have given probably 100 of those books to young men that I knew were leaving school, high school, and going out into the world, maybe college sports, no telling what. And what that book says is, don't run with the herd. Be above the herd. Be uncommon. Don't be common.
You're right.
And I wish I had the money to give every young man that walks out of this town one of those books, and had a way to know that they read it before they got to go.
Yeah.
Because
I know you. Of course, you remember my son.
oh yeah,
Montreal.
heavens yes.
And I always taught him, you'll be a leader, not a follower.
That's it.
Be a leader, not a follower.
Be a good father. Be a good friend.
Yes. You know what I'm saying?
Be a good husband.
That.
Be uncommon.
Uncommon.
Yeah, but does all of that stuff even exist anymore?
It does.
You
It still exists, but it's not as common as it was. It's
Yeah, no.
uncommon.
No. And then
now.
we're talking about reading, and how many people are actually going to sit down and
Nobody. You don't see it
read?
anymore.
Yep.
I don't know.
You could ask the kids at the school, how often do you pick up a book and read? I don't like reading,
I read every day. Probably at least 2 hours a day.
Knowledge is power.
It is power.
And where do you get that
Complete
knowledge
power.
from? Reading. 100%. Teachers should make $100,000 a year.
Well, and that might pay them back for their own money that they spend to do their job.
I see it every day, Mr. Gray, every day at the school that I work at.
So what do we do? How do we fix this? How do we touch? How do we reach? How do we grab and say, please pay attention to what we're telling you? You might not live through this if you don't change your ways.
It's like a game. It's like they play a game. And you're playing with your life. I actually, I've dealt with addiction within my family. And one time I had, a family member tell me, I don't know why you're wasting your time or your money, because I like it. And I'm not going to quit until I get ready to quit. And that hurt. Because it was a close family member. And it's like, what? I'm not going to quit. I don't know why you're wasting your breath. I don't know why you're wasting your time. And I don't know why you're wasting your money trying to send me to a rehab. Because I'll quit when I get ready to quit.
Well, I think the biggest thing is, what I've noticed is that when you're dealing with addiction, they're not necessarily addicted to the drug, they're addicted to the feeling. So when you're dealing with something that's helping someone escape reality, their reality, dealing with something who help them escape their pain, that's whole nother demon that you're dealing with when you're talking about addiction. Because like I said, a lot of these people, in their mind, they're not addicted to the drug. It's the feeling that it gives me. So it's kind of like if I have a headache, the first thing I'm gonna want to do is take a Tylenol, because the Tylenol takes my headache away. Same thing with the drugs. That's how most people start. It's because they're trying to escape something, whether it's a knee injury, mental injury, whatever it is.
Abuse.
So, you have to first start with the root of what, why am I addicted? Why am I
And it goes
running
back
to this?
to the mental health side of it.
Absolutely.
The trauma.
People are scared to go see psychiatrists. You have to. If there's a problem, that's an outlet. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a psychiatrist. It could be a counselor like, Mr. Brandon is. I see every day, when I first started with the school system, we would go to lunch together, or, he would come in the cafeteria and sit with me now it's just like from the time he gets in school in the morning, and he'll tell you more about it till the time we leave. He's busy, you know.
Looking,
watching, dealing with these kids and the issues
I
they have at home.
I told Pat Welch one time, I said, Pat, on the school board, I mean, he's been on the school board forever.
Ever.
God bless
Yes,
his soul
yes.
for his commitment.
Right.
I said, you don't need to have another gun in the school. I said, you need to have a psychologist in the school walking down that hall. They know the signs. The 10 signs of somebody's getting ready to shoot somebody is there every time. And if you're watching these kids, you can find them before it ever happens.
Exactly,
Right.
and you saying that right there, it takes me back to, I remember when I first entered the program,
Right.
drug court. It was
Sure,
called drug court
sure.
back then, and people were always saying, you know, he's not gonna make it. He's not gonna make it. He will never change. He will never change. I don't know why you're wasting your time on him, but it wasn't somebody that just told me what to do. It's somebody that saw that I needed help and I couldn't do it for myself. So they had to grab me by the hand and walk with me and not just tell me how to do it, but show me how to do it. And with that, I've learned to crawl. I've learned to be able to stand up on my own 2 feet. I've learned to walk. Now I'm able to identify individuals who are struggling and not just allowing them to go by, but taking the time to stop, not just telling them what to do, but walking alongside them, showing them how to make it, or how to get better, how to get well. And that's something that we need more of, is people that can identify and that know, instead of turning their cheek or a blind eye, reaching their hand out, because that's something that we don't have. I used over 20-something years, every single day, over 20-something years, doing something that I did not want to do, but I had to do it in order to keep from being sick, every single day. Okay? I did not want to do those things. People said that he will never change. Until somebody stepped in and gave me a hand.
Sure.
Things changed.
And that's one of the. I mean, that's why I reached out to him. You know, last week. It's like, man, we got to do something.
Yeah.
We got to start reaching out to these.
Time to start being
Yes.
proactive.
We got to
Reactive.
create a safe environment where somebody
Yes.
cannot feel judged or be judged. You know, and that was kind of me.
Sure.
You know, afraid. You know, people like Mr. Davis said. You know, people become comfortable with whatever's going on with them, and as far as letting go, that's been their life. That's
Yes.
been my life for 20-something years, and you're asking me to let go of something. That being uncomfortable, that's hard, especially when you're having to do it by yourself. And that's what's happening. A lot of these people whose lives are being lost are having to find their way by themselves. They don't want to be in the state that they are. That's why we have to take time
To listen.
to listen and lend a helping hand. Show up, be accountable, be present.
Sure.
And what better way than sitting here with you to reach? Because, you know, it's not the black community. It's not the white community. Tullahoma's our community. And it's happening in our community.
Country.
It's right.
Yes.
But
Not just here.
Yes.
But we can start
Oh, of course.
in our
You
community.
start on your own street.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
How many
And-
How many people don't know who their neighbors are?
Well, you say we need to start. You say we need to start on our own street.
Yeah.
I think it goes a little bit deeper than that.
Well, in your house.
I think we need to start within.
Yeah.
Well, sure.
Here.
Sure.
Yeah.
Each individual.
Certainly.
I mean, I mean, we're sitting here talking, you know, with you, but still, we got to hold ourselves accountable too.
You know what? I got a neighbor that lives across from me down one. And when I'm out of way, You think Jesse Campbell doesn't call me and tell me about
I know
it?
she does. I know she does.
And sends Cliff down there with a piece of pie.
Right. Yeah.
I mean,
Yes, sir.
no, we've got to find community again.
Yes.
And Mr. Gray, you said a mouthful.
He sure did, didn't he?
That's what's missing here. You know, even, and I'm gonna go sports. Even with the football games and the basketball games now, if you go to, the community doesn't show up like they used to. You know, being on the sideline, you know, looking over into the stands because I sit over with the coaches now.
Right.
You know, and the ex-coaches. You know, I'm over on, and looking across the field and looking at our stands. That community, the community's not there like it used to be anymore for football, and it's sad, you know.
But when the girls went to Chattanooga to play soccer, it was the same thing happened as when the boys went to play football.
Right.
They, Tullahoma and Coffee County brought the biggest bunch of folks in that stadium that they ever had for a game.
I love it.
And when the girls played soccer this time, they had the biggest bunch of folks in that stand that they ever had for one of those games.
Yeah, I love that.
So we still travel, and we still go.
Yeah.
So whenever we put this town hall meeting together about some of these topics and issues, we need to have those, or that stand, or that arena, or facility, or that venue packed.
Yeah.
Right, wherever it is,
Yes.
it needs to be
Because
packed.
it's like it's affecting our community. You know, it's sad. It's sad. It's sad the young kids that we've lost over the last what?
I hate to keep interjecting, but I read to second graders at East Lincoln School, where I went to school. It's a tough side of town.
It is.
Tough side of town. I went to East when East wasn't cool.
Yeah.
You know, rough place. I sit with those kids, and when I first started talking to them, they wouldn't even look at me. And I told them, no matter where you live, no matter who you are, you live in a country where you can do anything and you can accomplish anything that you want to if you work hard enough.
That's right.
To get there.
That's right.
Don't ever let anybody steal your dreams
That's right.
away from
That's
you.
right. Tell you what you can't be. You're
And at the
absolutely
end
right.
of the year, when I gave them a goodbye, those second graders, I had a little card because I made stories up for them. You got to hook them. You got to get in there and you got to get a hook in them somehow. If it's being a clown, be a clown. If it's being a pilot, be a pilot. Whatever it is,
Right.
you get that hook in. And I told them little stories, and at the end I had a card with one of the characters I'd drawn on this card, and on the back I said, they called me Mr. John, I said, remember what I said. Never let anybody steal your dreams.
Yeah.
And they all had, out of the 23 of them, I think 19 of them had written a little note to me, and on 19 cards they said, Mr. John, I promise I'll never let anybody steal my dream. I got them.
Amen.
And that's what we've got to do. You've got to spend time to where, number one, they've got to know you and feel safe with you before they will open up and even smile at you.
You're right. And I deal with it every day on the east side.
Yes, sir. It's there.
It's you're right. I mean, over there, I say it all the time. You know, if you walk out the front of East Middle School, you have Country Club, Brookfield Estate, Terra Estate. You walk out that back door, what do you have?
Well, and I'm
And
on
those two worlds come together.
I'm a commissioner on the Housing Authority, and my goal right now is, I don't care how much money we spend on Dossett Apartments and how we make it look. If they have to walk through trash to get to school, we're not doing good. I'm going to do everything I can to get that mobile home park that's trashed over there bought, torn down, and turn that into a green space where these kids can walk out of where they live and walk nicely and comfortably over to the junior high school to go to school. Now, whether I can make it happen or not, I don't know, but that's my goal.
Yes.
Hey, well, like we're doing here, we'll do there.
Yeah.
As a community,
Yes.
get behind that.
We're a community.
Because you're 100% right.
Yeah.
You know, and the stuff we see and the stuff we deal with in the school system, it's sad. You know, I was going to school actually, and I wanted to be a guidance counselor, like my friend Mr. Brandon.
But you are.
I am.
You didn't have to go to school. All you had to have, you went to the school of life, my friend.
That's right.
You are a guidance
and that's the
counselor.
way it is now.
That's it.
The best degree you could ever have.
Life.
You know? Like you guys may not realize it, but like I watch y'all. You know, I guess I just watch people, and just seeing how how you guys, just by showing up every day, being present, whether it's in a school setting or whether it's at a ball game or whether it's just out in public. Period. You know, you don't hesitate to say hello to somebody or lend your hand out or just strike up a conversation. And you know, just sitting around, it's amazing of how you see so many different people from all walks of life that come up to y'all, and you know, you guys just have a genuine conversation. And
that came from John Berry.
That's,
yeah. Well,
I mean, but that's something that's kind of hard to come by.
Dad had that, man, you know, and when he passed away, I remember Mayor Dave Pennington looking at me and telling me, he said, "Man, you got some big shoes to fill." Well, for one, my dad was 6'4".
Yeah.
You know, 250 pounds, and I told Mayor Pennington I'll never be able to fill those shoes because he wore a size 13 double D or something like that. But what I can do is try to walk in his likeness. The things that I do, I don't do for a pat on the back. You know what I'm saying? You know, that boy, you know, good job. I don't care about all of that.
That's not what it's about.
I told you, and I've told you, and Pastor Brandon and I've had this conversation also. The day I close my eyes, I want to hear people say the things that I heard them say about my dad. He was a good man. You know what I'm saying? He loved those kids. He would give anybody the shirt off his back. That's when it matters to me.
And that's what we've got to do with these people who have these problems.
That's right.
Now, what we need to do right now is take a quick commercial break, because we got two more out here.
Yes, sir.
That need to get up here and tell their part of this story, to where people understand that there is more than one or two of us involved.
Right.
There are a group of people right now dedicated to make something happen.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
Gentlemen, thank you for being here.
Hey, thank you for having us.
You
Mr.
got
Lee.
it, and we'll be back after this commercial break. Payless Auto Service and Repair, located at 2013 North Jackson Street, Tullahoma, specializes in tires, brakes, suspension, oil changes, engines, and transmissions. Offers a 24-month or 24,000-mile warranty and free diagnostics. Payless is a veteran-owned auto shop and is home of the 25-25 oil change all day, every day, and offers Payless Tire Deal. Buy 3, get 1 free all day, every day. Call for an appointment, 931-455-6600. And Payless Auto Sales, located at 607 South Jackson Street in Tullahoma. Let Payless Auto show you how easy it is to buy a quality used car. We believe fair prices, superior service, and treating customers right leads to satisfied repeat buyers. Our friendly and knowledgeable staff will help you find the right car, priced to fit your budget. Shop our virtual showroom of cars, trucks, and SUVs online, then stop by and get a test drive. Payless Auto, located at 607 South Jackson Street, Tullahoma, 931-455-6111.
I want to invite y'all to come by Clayton's, downtown Tullahoma. We try to serve the community, the area, and we try to help people with their feet and comfortable shoes. We still measure feet. We have a great new arch mat. We have insoles. Please come see us at Clayton's and let me help you find some comfortable shoes for those achy feet.
We're gonna fit your style. We're gonna make you smile. Service these shoes for? We're gonna fit your style.
For over 40 years, family-owned Stroop's Accurate Refrigeration is the name you can trust for residential and commercial HVAC installation, maintenance, and repair. As we transition to our next generation of leadership, the Stroop team is committed to providing your indoor comfort needs. We at Stroop's emphasize excellence in everything we do with certified technicians, 24/7 emergency service, and free estimates. Stroop's Accurate Refrigeration, your #1 hometown HVAC company.
Welcome back to Insight, ladies and gentlemen, and we're talking today with some friends from around the county about suicide, and we have a grief counselor up here now. We have a counselor from East Middle School, where I went to middle school. I showed him my old leather jacket here a while back, and then we have Alan, and Alan's going to introduce these guys, and we're going to keep on talking about the problem we have with drug abuse and with suicide.
Yes, yes. And right here to my left, I got my pastor, Lee Brandon, longtime friend. Known him since we was yay high. Also, he's a grief counselor here in the community, as well as counselor over at East Middle School. Then I got my good friend Dustin Ritchie. He's our overdose prevention specialist throughout the state. And I've known Dustin for years. We lived together over in Winchester, over in Garden Park. I didn't realize who he was until we started working together and we started telling each other stories.
Probably back in 1992, 93.
Yes. So we're gonna continue the conversation and.
What do you bring to the game, guys? We all got to bring something to the game. Give us what we need to know.
Without a doubt. I think when I spoke to Steve a couple of days ago, and was talking about the incident that just happened with the suicide, and heart was burdened. And Steve said, "Man, what are we gonna do?" And I said, he asked actually, what do we need to do? And I said, "Man, things haven't happened because we ain't got mad enough." And Steve said, "I'm mad, and here we are today." Trying to do something about the situation.
Right.
And so grief is overwhelming, and most times it's a life process. And a lot of times we call grief from the point of the sorrow of someone that has died, but grief encompasses a whole lot more. Grief encompasses even that kid who graduated from high school and thought they were going to be a star athlete, and it didn't just pan out the way. And so now in their life, they feel that grief from those different things. And so we have a lot of people that's out there struggling with a lot of stuff that we don't necessarily know about, and that don't really understand. And they go and use these different medicines that they think is going to help and able to cope. And we know just by life experiences that any medicine I take only lasts for a minute, a few moments. In my grief counseling, I'm actually a Christian grief counselor, so I believe from Genesis to Revelations to 2025 that Jesus is the answer. He manifests in a lot of different ways, and so a lot of times we get frustrated because of the manifestation hasn't happened. So we just have to try to keep praying and lift each other up, and it goes beyond prayer because we have to put our hands to the plow,
right,
and then to go do some work as well.
Well, I agree with everything you said.
Agree with everything you said.
Well, especially with faith, man. That's why I'm here today, is because of God, because of Jesus, and my experience with suicide specifically. It's the exact reason I'm sitting where I'm sitting at today, doing what I'm doing. I was directly affected twice in my life, and it's led me down the path that I've been down. My brother committed suicide when I was 20 years old. And that led me down a very dark hole because I didn't know how to deal with that grief I was facing. What I knew growing up, and I started using substances at a fairly young age. I was about 6 years old. So in my head, what made me feel better, I knew what would take that pain away were drugs and alcohol. And that led me down that path. My entire 20s were, drugging and drinking. Then this man right here got me into rehab. I was 30 years old, and I needed help, and he had his hand out, and I took it. When I got back to Tennessee from rehab at the beginning of January 2017, I was a supervisor at Tepro over in Winchester, and I was walking out one day and looked up at the TV screen, and there was something on the news about something that happened in Coffee County where a guy had committed suicide in the middle of the road out there in front of the Justice Center after he had escaped from the Justice Center. And I come find out here, well, a couple hours later, it was one of my best friends that had gotten in a lot of trouble due to drugs. His whole life he had been affected by addiction, and he had got arrested and tried to escape, and ended up stealing a gun from an officer and committed suicide right in the middle of the street over in Manchester. And when that happened, that flipped a switch in my head, and I said, you know what, I'm sick of seeing this. I'm sick of seeing friends die from suicide. I'm sick of seeing friends and people I know suffer from this disease of addiction. And I got involved in the work I do now, working with individuals in active addiction, working with individuals with mental health issues. I got the opportunity to become a certified QPR gatekeeper for individuals suffering.
You certified now?
I'm certified, yeah.
Word?
QPR gatekeeper. What that is, that's question, persuade, refer. And so when someone's got that intent or to attempt suicide, you got about 20 minutes right there where there's that extreme intent and that crisis situation is going on. And so as a QPR gatekeeper, I'm able to talk to people and try to get them referred to someone that's going to be able to help them more than what I can, help them clinically. I'm not a clinical person.
Right.
I'm simply a peer, but with that QPR certification, I can help get them to somebody who's going to be able to help them more in the long term.
So you're like that specialist that the police bring in to talk to somebody in one of those. Well, I mean, seriously, they have negotiators that they bring in to keep people from shooting somebody in the family or whatever.
Yes, we all are.
And what you're talking about there, you're talking about the same thing, is to get this person to the point that they can accept help.
Yeah.
And hope that there's enough time to make that happen.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
I think everybody does that. We're all peers. We all have lived experience one way or another. I don't think there's one person that can say that they haven't been affected by trauma, which is the root cause of addiction and mental health, I think. There's that conundrum of the chicken or the egg, which came first, the trauma or the addiction. But we're all peers. All of us have been affected in one way or another. So we all have an opportunity to be able to help each and every one of our neighbors that are out there.
And like whenever we're giving the gatekeepers presentation, that suicide training, it helps the audience to become more aware of how to ask the question if they're in front of somebody or that could be thinking suicide, instead of just holding back and not knowing how to ask that question.
Well, I'm going to ask a question to you. Do you see a huge change from the time you were in junior high versus now, or did we just not see it when we were in junior high?
Yeah, I think we had more coping strategies and coping mechanisms, and we, when I was in school, I think because of the way we were brought up, that we had some more life experiences of having to deal with some stuff, where as time has moved on, we have tried to take care of our kids and make sure that they had a better life than we did, and make sure that they had more stuff than we had. And in the process of that, I think we cut out their ability to be able to handle some stuff that is difficult.
Yeah.
And because of that,
Because we do it for them?
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. In counseling, we talk about the helicopter parents that kind of just hovers over their children and everything. And now we've come to the place of lawnmower parents where they just mow over everything, and the kids don't have to deal with anything. And a lot of times, as kids are growing up, they say, okay, that's good, but what happens when mom and dad are no longer there, right? Then because I never had to do any heavy lifting of my own with my mind or my heart, how do I do it now when nobody's there to watch over me? And I try to tell parents all the time, I said, we as kids kids are gonna fail. They're gonna have some rough stuff, and it's much better to allow them to have that when you have that protection around them until when they get grown, and then the protection is gone, and then major things happen at that point.
But do you think, because I do think that screen that's in front of everybody's face,
Yes, sir.
They hide in that.
Yes, sir.
Before, when I was a kid, you went home, you sat at a table and ate together. There was, matter of fact, we didn't even have a TV. There was a radio. TV didn't even exist. When I was a kid, and when you went home, you dealt with the family unit.
Yes,
and
sir.
the problems that took place in that family unit was discussed around that dinner table.
Yeah.
Or in the den, or somewhere where you were together, because you all had to survive it together. And that doesn't happen now.
But Mr. Gray, as great as technology is, it has caused us to not have that human communication or that human relationship, and human relationship has always been important since the very beginning.
Certainly.
Even when we talk about this world, as a Christian, we say that there was fellowship, right, with God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit. That there was three, right, and so
Right.
it's always been that fellowship. And now we think that we can do it without that. Even the creation was formed from fellowship, and so we find ourselves in a place of not having that human interaction. And when we don't have human interaction, we begin to look at people as objects and not people. And so we can call people liberal Republicans or liberal Democrats or left-wing Republicans. We can call all these people, but at the end of the day, my principal says this all the time: somebody leaves the light on for that person. Somebody cares for that person. And when we get to the point that it becomes that it's just an object and not a person, we lose focus. And when we lose focus on that, people begin to lose focus in themselves, and we have a bunch of people here that's walking around hopeless, unfortunately, because they don't share it or they don't feel like nobody cares. But we do care, and we do want to help, and the only way to be able to help is if we can have that verbal conversations with people to see what's really going on. And like you said, as long as they're looking behind the screen, they can look happy. But when it comes to that real talk, the real man.
Well, and mom and dad, the thing about it is, mom and dad, as long as they're looking at that screen, mom and dad ain't got to deal with them.
But
You know?
technology, those screens have become a whole new coping mechanism. Also, giving us the wrong connection that we need. We need that fellowship. We need that connection. That's what keeps us good. It's what keeps us grounded. I mean, the opposite of addiction is connection. You hear a lot of people say that, and that's what we need. And kids nowadays, I mean, they're in such a worse condition than we ever were, because technology has given us great things, but it is one of the biggest threats to youth today, because you have that screen in front of your face 24/7. They are getting desensitized so much to things that are happening. I mean, just the violence and everything. When I was younger, and I'm a lot younger than you guys, I think. I'm only 39, but even I grew up at the end of the 80s, beginning of the 90s. In the middle of everything, just getting technology, but old enough to remember. I was outside playing all the time. But back then, if I wanted to see the news, I had to sit in front of the TV at 6, 7 o'clock at night. Now, I mean, probably in the last 10 minutes, I felt my phone vibrating. I'm more than likely got 15, 20 different news stories popping across. I mean, kids today, they have that constant bombardment in front of their face, desensitizing them, and then also it's giving them an unrealistic expectation of what life is. They're getting snapshots of everybody else's life. They think everything's glamorous, and then they look inwards at themselves or at their surroundings and think, well, I wish I could be as good as that, or my life was as good as that. So technology it's becoming its own whole coping mechanism for kids now.
Right, sure.
So where do we go from here? As a community, where our community can be heard and also have a voice.
Yeah. Well, I think whoever was all involved in getting this together, Mr. Kirby, thank you so much for the opportunity to be able to come and use the platform that you have to be able to do that. I think that it has to spread and go out, and we have to not only just sit around and talk about it, we have to put our hands to the plow and begin to do some work. I think for the church perspective, we have to quit being so judgmental and welcome those people in who are sick, because it's a spiritual hospital. And why do we get mad at people for being sick that come to the hospital? That's what the hospital is for. And so we got to find some grace and mercy for those, because we all are fighting our stuff, no matter who, from the pulpit to the back door. We all got to fight. We all got to fight. And so we just need to be mindful of that and be careful how we treat and treat other people as well. And Alan, I know that you talked about a town hall. I think if somebody's out there that has the space and have the opportunity for us to be able to come and do more and bring the community in, because as y'all stated earlier, this is about community. And community is where I go to church. Community is where I live. Community is where I hang out. All of that is community, and we have to get the community well. When the community gets well, the people will be well.
You know, there's one thing I wrote, about, I'm a writer, so, you know, throw a big boulder into the middle of the pond, it makes a big splash, and then it sinks to the bottom. But the ripple that gets to the shore touches every grain of sand. I think I'd like to be the ripple. So, you can't pave a road from anywhere to anywhere without a few blisters on your hands. We just crawled out the truck, guys. Now, the road paving needs to be done, and it's all of us need to go out and touch somebody else and say, okay.
Yes, sir.
You know, and get back with this guy right here, because he's the one that brought it to me.
Yes, sir.
I'll love to participate if I can, health willing.
You've helped. You've helped.
You know,
you've always helped.
You know, but we need to all touch another person.
And you saying all? He means all.
all of you too.
Yes.
Because it's not just 3 or 4 or 5 people's problem. It's society's problem.
Yeah.
Yes.
We just 4 or 5 or 6 or 8 people who see it daily and are having to deal with it in a way that is not very comfortable, because it's part of our job to help try to solve this problem instead of hiding from it. Because it doesn't sound good if you want to bring somebody into town for a new factory to come to town. You don't tell these things.
Yes, sir.
Well, they'll find out sooner or later.
They sure will.
You know,
Secrets keep you sick.
We just need to try to find a way to fix it. So,
Yes.
guys,
We're working on it.
I appreciate all
sir.
of you for being here with us today. And know that, like I said, you got a friend here.
Yes,
Back
sir.
door's open.
Yes, sir.
Front door's open. Well, the front door might be closed, but that back door is never closed. You know. But thank you for what you do. Thank you for the joy that I've seen here amongst the folks who have been here. Just because we're broaching the subject that is so hard to deal with, that it gives everybody, it's giving every one of you a little bit of a smile on your face, because we started. It started, guys. Once this goes out on YouTube, you can't take it back. Ask some of those little old girls who've been bullied.
Yeah.
They'll tell you can't take it back.
We hope it has that ripple effect.
Yeah, I hope it has that ripple effect. And folks, thank you for watching. Please tell your friends that to listen for more about this group trying to work hard to prevent suicide in our county, our state, and across the nation. With that said, thank you for watching Insight. We'll see you next time.